On Monday night, Cardinals, Chargers from State Farm Stadium. Max, Cardinals need a win. They need to win at home. They need to show that they can stop the run. They need to show that they can't. There's a lot of different things and they're only a game out of first place in the division too, even though it doesn't feel like that right now. Matchup with the Chargers, a team you've already seen this season because the Steelers beat them earlier. What's the first thing that jumps to mind when you see this particular matchup?
Physicality. The first thing that comes right off the page, Jim Harbaugh wants to be physical. He wants to run the football down your throat, and he wants to do it with bigger people than you have on the field. That's what it comes down to. And the biggest thing is you got to go force them to get out of it. And, one of the things that made the Steelers successful in that game was we had to match their physical, and we had already been hitting in camp. So at that point, it was like, okay, who's going to have the bigger muscles, right? And I think for the Cardinals, this is a great game for your offensive line to get right because you hope that you can just go fire out physically and fire out the gates and run the ball. This is a James Conner type of game. This is, I want to run between the tackles. I want to hit you in your face, and I want to step on your face after I knock you down after hitting you in the face.
And I will not help you up.
No, do not help a guy up. That's number 2. Don't help up a guy in an opposing uniform.
And then love him after. It's all said and
No,
done.
you can high five afterwards.
Right.
You can trade jerseys and do the little signing thing. After you say the prayer in the middle of the field, that's great. That's great. But from start to finish of that game, 60 minutes, unbridled rage. That's the mentality you have to have. And defensively, you're gonna have to settle in on selling out on beating the run because Justin Herbert's numbers are not great in the air. So you could see Quentin Johnston, and he looks like an alien out there. He's a humongous wide receiver.
Wow.
But they ain't throwing to him. Like, that's just what this team is. Like, the Greg Roman system is not built for passing. It's built for running. And if you're trying to establish a philosophy and an identity as that's what he did at Baltimore. But when it came time to evolve, guess who got canned? And Lamar Jackson is still there, and Lamar Jackson is putting up crazy numbers. So that's where you have to just know, first of all, I need to put on the tape a little bit tighter, get an extra spat on the cleats just in case. And if you're scared, say a prayer before the game. It's Sunday. You can't go to church, so you got to be at a stadium. But you need to be prepared for a physical game. And you have to be prepared for 4 quarters of physical play.
So what is your expectation for this offensive line that the Chargers have? Have you seen a lot of them? Have you seen them play this offensive line? Joe Alt, of course.
Yeah, Joe, Control, Alt, Delete, whatever. I've heard Joe Alt, Delete. That was the nickname they were giving him. He got
Alt, Delete.
Yeah, he got deleted in our game. Alt is he's a Notre Dame lineman. Right?
Yep.
So he's physical at the point. He's very technically sound. He's a mountain of a man. So, the biggest thing is I would say it's slashing across the face. Like, I would say slanting is what gives him issues. Rashawn Slater's good, but Rashawn Slater's is undersized for the left tackle position, right? He's a guy that has really good footwork, and when you run into the middle of him, he's good at blocking you. The problem he struggles with, physicality at the point, bull rush, long arm stab, outside moves, give him issues. So when you're Dennis Gardeck or you're anybody rushing that outside edge, Zaven Collins, those are the things you need to know. Do not run down the middle of either one of these tackles.
Okay.
Keep them on edges, and you will have success with pressure. That's the biggest thing. And I think slanting this team, Jamari Sawyer, I loved him at Georgia. He played admirably in the playoff game against the Jaguars a couple years ago when he had to bump out the tackle. He had to do that in the game that we played against him. But Jamari Sawyer, lazy feet. So movement across face is going to give him issues. That's why I think when you slant, when you play edges on them, because they're trying to build a physical point of attack, man-style blocking scheme, what hurts a man-blocking physical guy that's a block that gets on a track? It's movement. It's lateral movement at that. So when you choose edges, not as effective. And so that's kind of what I've seen from watching the game and also looking at other games that they played. They struggle with that type of movement.
Max, you brought this up a little bit earlier in the show, how it can mess with you. It certainly messes with fans, but as a player where you can go out there and beat San Francisco in San Francisco, and then you the Green Bay game, it was like they weren't even there for the first quarter and a half or the last quarter and a half. There was like a stretch in the middle where they almost made a push. But when you talk about trying to be consistent, how do you go about doing that when so many guys are in and out of the lineup right now? I know it's football, everybody has injuries, but it seems like the Cardinals especially are getting hit hard right now.
Well, I think that's a trend in this entire league. I mean, from week to week, you go in, and you know this. When you go in this, you're like, hey, let me look at last week's game. Oh, wait a second. There's like 5 guys that aren't playing.
So you just need depth,
this week.
basically.
The depth is really the biggest thing because injuries are going to happen, and it seems like a lot more are happening this year than in other years.
Man.
I mean, you just look at and guys are scouring like all of the practice squads, all of the guys on the streets, and there's nobody available. That's the biggest thing. I said this last week when we were talking, hey, where are you going to go to get an offensive lineman? I don't even know where you can go. I mean, we were talking about DJ Humphries, who has not been on a team and was injured last year, as a viable option because whose practice squad are you going to poach? And if the guy made the practice squad, is he even that good? Or are you just stashing bodies?
By the way, do you have his number so I can call him? I just want to talk to him.
DJ.
Hey, DJ.
How are you? More specifically,
What's
how's
going
the
on,
knee?
dude?
Yeah.
Can I work you out real quick? Just 20 minutes.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I just would like to know. Maybe if you could tell me, are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Wolf would feel a lot better just knowing that DJ Humphries is feeling better. How's that?
Yes, he would. He cares about his personal well-being and how it applies to helping a team win.
Especially if maybe he wants to get back into football very soon.
Why not come to the place that you're so comfortable with?
And one of the things, too, I want to see the Arizona Cardinals do, and you can talk a little bit about this, Max. I want to see them throw the ball down the field. I think they need to do this. I think they need some plans, some called shots, if you will, down the field, where you just say, hey, listen, throw it. We're going to go ahead. We're going to run this play, throw that ball down the field.
Yeah, and I love it because, I mean, listen, as good as Derwin James is, right?
Yeah.
He's a fantastic safety. But Derwin James, when presented with 2 options, will short circuit. So if you run 2 post routes on opposite sides of the seams at him, he's going to short circuit and just jump one. Even though the quarterback's eyes aren't even there, he's just going to feel it. So why not put that guy in a quandary? Because, I mean, I look at it, and Jasir Taylor's a nice nickel back, but I would have completely attacked the slot. I would attack the slot on them because they're trying to run zone, and they have more man-esque type of cornerbacks. I would completely test them and say, hey, Derwin James, if you're going to sit back there, make a decision, but roll the dice. Even though we're not in Vegas, I'm going to make you gamble.
Post dig.
Yeah, I mean, post dig, double pocos. I mean, you could even run, the cross where you have one corner and one corner and one post route across each other between your 2 outside slot guys.
But you need protection.
You do need protection.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Max, great stuff as always, man. And look, if you want to block on Monday for the Cardinals, feel free.
I think I still have my practice jersey somewhere in my closet.
Max just shows up on it.
Exactly. Could you see showing up and then I got like tape over like some pads because I don't have pants.
Good stuff.
They don't
man.
wear knee pads anymore, so I'm good.
So you're saying you didn't have to buy anything. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, guys.
Enjoy Cincinnati.
Will do.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.